Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. This week, we're joined by comedian Jake Flores and first ever returning guest, Avery Moore. This one's funny, man. We cover old people shoplifting and people walking around naked in front of their kids. It gets weird, but just check it out. Thank you guys for rocking with us, man. You've been killing it. You've been really good. People have been really happy with the feedback, and you're sharing it with your friends. So we really appreciate that. It's a good time. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but who does? So who gives a shit? We are joined this week by two hilarious comics. First ever returning guest. Her debut album's coming out on Sure Thing Records. Make some noise for Avery. I do this. I cannot stop stand up introducing people on this podcast, and it's wildly embarrassing. Avery Moore, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts for guys.
I haven't touched a stand-up microphone, doing stand-up, in nigh on a year at this point because of the pandemic, and I cannot. That shit is such a muscle memory in my head that I don't know what I'm doing. Also, I probably shouldn't be introducing people with that horseshit anymore anyway. Avery, how's things? How you been?
Things are good, I guess. I'm just hanging out, trying to live.
Life, man.
Live life, laugh, and love.
The classics.
Not laughing, actually.
No, not a lot of laughing. Just sort of trying the living part out as best as we can. And also joining us from, I don't know what part of New York he's in anymore. Brooklyn, I'm guessing, based on knowing you. Yeah. Jake Flores. How's it going, bud?
I'm good, man. Tip your weights up, everyone.
Yeah. Clubs and colleges across the country won't let him in. Jake Flores, everybody. Jake, I did I'm sure people know, I did your girlfriend's podcast yesterday.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Well, what I mean to say, I think people know who you're know who your girlfriend is. I did her podcast yesterday, and I felt dumb. I did it. It was good. We had a good conversation, but I'm not smart about politics.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I try, and I think you're a person who I think is a good. We talked about it a little bit yesterday with the idea of you're good, your politics, but you still are funny about shit. I think there's less of that than people think there is.
Yeah, no, it's the realm of nerds, and so even when people do shit that I agree with, it's this is gonna be cringy because if you lead with shit from college, it's just not it's not in the realm of funny. You have to kind of have that shit hang in the background of what you're talking about. I think, man, people are it's all political stripes too. Everybody tries to act my people are actually funny. No, they're all fucking nerds. The only people that are really funny are basically nihilists who've devoted their entire brain to just trying to be funny.
Yeah, for sure. Avery, you said your new record's coming out on Sure Thing. Do we have a window?
No, we're still figuring out if I want to It's it's in the editing process, but sure. Do I release it when I can perform again? Because I'm not doing shows. So,
yeah. How do you promote
or
it?
Live shows, or is that going to be next year?
Right.
I don't fucking know. I recorded it in January, and then everything happened.
Yeah. But, maybe you can get some Joe Rogan stage time.
I don't.
I wish. Sometimes I'll never make this a video podcast because the thought of asking people to get dressed up for a podcast. But goddamn, I wish people could have seen your face. The name. You look like somebody's you look like you smelled a fart, a real bad one.
Yeah, I hate that dude, man. I'm not. There's rumors that he's gonna open up 3 clubs here. He's talking about 3, and I was I will not perform it.
That seems one
dog. I'll fucking move out of this town.
Dude, he said on his podcast that he wanted to open a destination comedy club that you like drive out of town to, and then it's also a gun range. Yeah. Which is
gun range, and like he wants to have like a concert venue, and like but yeah, it's out on his like ranch, like 45 minutes away.
So the comedy club is also a gun range? Or are they just doing that open mic that used to happen in Austin? Didn't there used to be an open mic at a fucking shooting range?
All the comics
not
are
that
dead
long ago.
Because they gave the audience guns and they would shoot you if you did a bad joke.
Also, hey, 2 drink minimum, get hammered, now drive 45 minutes home. It's a wildly bad idea.
Yeah.
Also, why would you open 3 clubs? You're just bad at business. You open one. Why would you open a bunch of clubs to compete with themselves? And now you have to, you know what I mean? There's only so much audience. God damn it.
It's just psycho rich people shit. As soon as you have like that much money that you're just not really a human anymore.
It's like a late night Coke conversation.
Yeah.
Like that's that's how he talks all the time. That's how he speaks, is like, I've got this great idea for a business, man. Listen up. And he just like, a monster fucking rail and talks about opening up 3 clubs in a dying city.
Imagine if you every one of those Coke conversations that the 3 of us have had, like
you had like we had money to follow up on all of that shit.
What the wild shit would we be doing if we?
I would have a zoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd have a fucking like a zoo, and like
it's a zoo / recording studio for some reason. Yeah.
It's a zoo. It's also a gun range. You get the guns. They give you the gun. They give the
animals guns. We flip it. We flip it.
I went to the wildlife ranch yesterday.
What's that?
The Natural Bridge Wildlife Reserve. It's like a big giant ranch north of San Antonio that it's like a African safari, and you just drive through in your car at 5 miles an hour. And I saw wildebeest and giraffes and a rhino.
That's just awesome. I remember there was one of those places like Busch Gardens or something like that when I was a kid that had one of those, and like the monkeys would fuck up your car. And I was a kid, so I thought it was awesome. But then I think about it as an adult, I'd be like, you better get your monkey ass off my goddamn car. I'm still making payments on this shit.
There were all these rams that were just like in the middle of the road, and I was like, they rush this car, because I was in Jackson's car. I was if I just drove Jackson's car into a bunch of goats and they all just started fucking up the car.
You have to come home. Hey, what happened to the car? Rams? Like a Dodge Ram? No, like the animal, like several Rams.
To a wildlife ranch.
Yeah,
that's too funny.
You're trying to like fudge it on the insurance forms. Like, I was hit by a ram. What year? It looked like he was 15 years old. I don't know. He was a baby.
That's too funny. Well, let's go ahead and jump into some of these letters real quick, because these are fucking wild. Some of them are wilder than others. We'll see. Let me go ahead. Let me figure out where do we want to start. Let's start with something relatively reasonable and then get weird with it. Okay, let's do this one. Where is it? Hold on. Scroll down. My husband and I have been close friends with a woman named Louise for 5 years. Recently, we were all hanging out, and Louise got very drunk and tried to massage lotion into my husband's hands. She also hugged him and wouldn't let go, although he put his hands at his side and his whole body stiffened. My husband has expressed to me that these situations make him very uncomfortable, and they do the same to me. We talked about letting Louise know, but he felt it would only make her feel awkward around us. It's been a month, and I can't seem to let it go. I don't want to text her, and I'm finding excuses to avoid her. Should I continue trying to let this go, or is a conversation in order? Signed, Taken Aback in New York.
Horny old Louise.
Horny old Louise. By the way, can we all agree this is like an older couple, right?
Yeah.
This has like older couple vibes.
They have a friend named Louise. So.
Yeah. Valid point. I have a question about the husband. Do you think he came? Why would you describe it as he put his hands at his side and his whole body stiffened? I think he might have came in his pants.
I really don't like it when she hugs me and rubs lotion on me. Honey, we must put this to an end.
The lotion is also a very weird, Like that is such a specific.
Weird.
Yeah. Also, did he have like ashy hands? Like what prompted that?
A hand massage is a weird massage. Like usually it's like some like horny wine lady is like rubbing your husband's shoulders, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But not like, let me really get in there.
Get him in between them knuckles.
You have arthritis? Back in what?
That's so weird.
I'm also concerned. I don't know that this is the first time.
No, she sounds like a
husband has expressed to me that these situations made him very uncomfortable. I think this is like Louise has been trying to drop hints for a while, and they're not picking up on it, so she's getting more and more like obvious with it, right?
Clearly, Louise is a habitual hand massager.
Yeah, that's her move, dude.
Yeah, I don't know that
parties and rubs people's hands.
That is such a specific like. Were they at her house? She must have brought lotion. You know what I mean? Like, so many steps have to go. Was he wearing a wedding ring?
Bag.
Yeah, you could just be carrying lotion like that.
Yeah, old people always have lotion.
Also, 6 feet, bitch. We're in a pandemic. Stop touching me.
Well, is this story like recent?
These are all, for the most part, these are all pretty recent.
Louise in their pod.
I was going to say, Louise is in their bubble for sure. Yeah. She put herself there.
Is that a fit? Do you think swingers had to pick like
their favorite couple,
2 couples or whatever to keep in their pod? And then does that then become too much of a recurring thing to work for the swingers? My idea, at least I think swingers are about like the variety of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're assuming that they follow the rules. All these like orgies keep getting busted and shit, and like in like fucking Italy or shit like that.
Well, the Italy. I mean, that's probably if it's Italy, there's probably like an orgy exception in the law. They're horny people.
I think it was France that I read that story about the other day. But there's also, I don't know if you know about this, but when COVID first happened, like the president of France had to come out and make it a rule that people stop men stop kissing each other as a greeting and shit.
He is so French.
Yeah.
They can't help it.
Yeah.
I am very happy that is not our culture. Not for like homophobia reasons. I'll kiss a dude on the cheek or what. I don't care.
Not having to break that habit.
I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to like kiss you. Like I have my fiance. I'm good. Like you stay over. Like that is too informal of a greeting. Dap it up and let's keep it pushing. Quick hug. Slam it on the chest. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
I'm a kisser on the cheek if I know that that's okay with the other person, because like my family's really like that. They're all Italians.
Well, I was gonna say Italian is what they're like. Yeah,
the kiss thing, like I kind of do, but like I'm not to someone that I'm not very familiar with. You know?
That would be funny if the head of the mafia had to come out and be like, "We got to stop doing the kiss of death because
it's becoming an actual kiss of death." Yeah. It's very both ways.
Stop kissing each other.
If you're trying to subtly imply to somebody that you're going to kill them, we have to come up with like a hand signal or something.
Yeah. They have like one of those like a fleshlight mouth on the end of a broomstick so they can poke it at you from a distance. Now you gotta kiss the ring they gotta keep one of those.
Yeah. It's just someone's finger that they cut off.
I can't imagine rubbing lotion on a non-romantic partner. You know what I mean? Like even my closest friend, I'll give you my lotion, or I may even be like, "Oh, hey, look, I got a little too much. I squirted a little too much on my hand. You want some of this?" They'll wipe it off and then handle what they're doing, right? But like, I've been. You have seen me. Both of you have seen me be very drunk. I have never been lotion up my homies.
I'm gonna rub your hands. It's like they do it at like manicure places, and then like. I think that's it. I think that's where that stops.
Well, maybe she's from Portugal, and there it's very that's how you say you honor someone is by lotioning their hand.
Jake, have you ever had a manicure or a pedicure?
No, this recently became kind of like a hipster thing. Like all the fucking homies would go get like manicures or whatever.
No
I thought
polish manicures.
it's completely lost on me. I've never even got I got a back massage once in like 10 years, and I was like, I couldn't. I was like, no, it's too, my back's too fucked up for this. Like it's making me like laugh and shit.
Yeah.
I don't take care of myself.
I've never done it either, and it's not. It just seems too weirdly intimate of a thing for a stranger to do to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because I'm very ticklish.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to rub your feet, and
that's like
I always feel like
I'm
like kick them in the face.
And then I remember seeing that there's like the ones where like the fish eat the dead skin off your feet or whatever.
Shit is so
like
gross.
That's one of my biggest fears. Why would you feel like fish nibbling on your toes is so fucked up? Why would you want to do that to yourself?
It is such a weird, like only a human. Oh, you know what I mean? The thought that it would take to be like let's catch a bunch. Like you thought one day you see a fish nibbling on like your finger or whatever, and you're like, "Ooh, I know how to make money off of this." And then you got to catch a bunch of them and then send them to some Vietnamese lady so she can pour it all over white ladies' feet. That's just such a weird chain of events.
Yeah,
I never go get my nails done because I work in bars.
Your hands are wet all the time or in sinks
and wet, and like you break your fingernails on cans and stuff, and like your nail polish will just go flake off into someone's drink.
Yeah, nobody wants that for sure.
Nobody wants that.
Let's go. All right, we can move on to another. I think we can agree Louise needs to work on some boundaries. Let's actually give a tiny bit of advice here, right? Go have a conversation. I think you have to have a conversation with Louise at some point. Here's what has to happen, right? If it's a one-time thing where she got hammered and was a little too frisky or whatever, and like the next time you guys hang out, everybody just agrees to act like nothing happened, and then nothing ever happens again, you can put that shit in the past and not address it, right? That's an uncomfortable conversation. But like clearly, I don't think that's what's going on here. I think this lady is a like you said, an habitual hand rubber. I think you have to talk about this.
Yeah. I think that Louise needs to learn like consent for her hand thing.
Yeah.
She's clearly like, it sounds to me like she's into hands, and that she's like, she'll invite you over to her apartment and be like, we're having we're all sculpting, we're gonna use and then at the end of it, she's like, wow, everyone's hands must be tired. You know what? I'll rub your hands. Like, just stop with the elaborate reasons to stop being so slick with it's creepy. Like, just
stop trying to trick me into this. Like, you can be like, hey, can I rub some lotion on your hands? And if I'm like, no, just leave it at that. Like, let's just learn consent.
Also, go meet up with somebody on the internet who wants to have their hands rubbed,
Absolutely. If that German
people that want that.
Yeah. If that German dude could find somebody to let him like eat him or whatever, like that cannibal dude, you could find somebody to rub some jerkins on your hands or vice versa. That's gotta be an easy group.
There's a hand lotion subreddit somewhere,
Oh, for sure there is.
Your fucking thing, man.
But it's also very racist for some reason. That's what I like. The problem with subreddits is there's an overlap. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next one. This one I think is, at least I for sure relate to it. I think Jake probably can, Avery as well. Dear Abby, I am the owner of an art gallery and often host shows with a reception to introduce artists. This generates interest in their artworks among patrons purchasing a piece for their home or to add to their collections. We provide hors d'oeuvres and beverages for our clients and potential clients. Several individuals come to our receptions and heap food on their plates, often filling them a second time and sometimes a third. One woman has carried food out, saying it was for her husband who was waiting outside. He must have been hiding because I watched her get into her car alone and drive off. Abby, these people rarely even look at the art, let alone buy anything. They just eat and leave. My gallery is in a fairly small community, so I don't want to be rude, but how can I tactfully tell these people to ease on down the road? Signed, not running a soup kitchen.
I'm just going to raise my hand and say I have done this so many times.
Free wine and cheese?
Of course.
The fuck you think I'm...
In San Antonio, they have an art walk called First Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that. And like the serious galleries, like you're really not supposed to like go in and just like eat the food. And like my friends and I would ride the bus downtown and just fucking hop from gallery to gallery, eating little pizzas and like little chips and dips and stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've never bought real art in my life.
Dude, okay, at central to this is something that this person needs to understand, which is that art is fake. Nobody, without the food there, no one would show up to be like, I gotta see this art. But you need asses and seats. You need people to look like your art show is going well, which is why you put the free fucking wine and cheese out. You're getting your return for that wine and food, which is, it looks like there's buzz
Probably
around
not
this shit.
expensive either.
Yeah, you
put a bunch of fucking $2 chuck out and some fucking Costco cheese plates.
Yeah.
No one's complaining.
Yeah.
I'll eat my hors d'oeuvres. And also, like, here's the thing. Jake and I have done this together for sure. Multiple times. Like, I will say this. Load up your plate 3 times. That feels aggressive to me. You do have to be somewhat reasonable, right?
Yeah.
You get a plate, maybe a second plate. If you also have to decide, are you getting drunk or are you eating? Where are you? Like, are you hungry or are you want to be drunk? Because you can like lean into booze easy and maybe have a little piece of cheese so you don't look like an alcoholic. There's just ways of like doing this right.
Well, if you are the grazer in the situation, then you pushing that line is actually in the artistic tradition of iconoclasm, because you are calling into question the absurdity of the situation, which is that everyone knows that art is fake and that no one's fucking there to see those paintings. And like, your job is to, kind of like be nice about it, but it's very funny to push it. Like, I think those are the heroes in this situation, in my opinion, because the system is untenable. Like, eventually someone is going to make it very clear that you opened a fucking hobo soup kitchen. And like, that's how art moves, man. That's something that you should learn from that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I don't know.
I think it is cool. I also like hire caterers that walk around with the hors d'oeuvres, and there's your problem solved. You don't just don't have a buffet.
That's true.
Also, isn't art just like about money laundering? I feel like I've learned that during the pandemic.
Yes, I'm telling you.
From TikTok, but it's like you just get your friend to appraise some piece of art at like $3 million, and then you can write it off or something. I don't know how money works. I think GameStop's involved or something.
No, that's real. Like, that's just all it is. So like, stop. It's insane that you would like, those people are a front. You understand? They're doing the work of hiding the fact that you're basically a shelf. You need them. Put the fucking soup out and let the hobos come in.
Yeah.
I will say, she says she lives in a fairly small community, which I'm assuming is like, like a shitty little beach town or something like that. So, like, maybe they are not specifically part of the money laundering or whatever, but, like, you're also not providing a real like, people aren't stealing from you. They're just maybe not taking the thing you're offering in the way you intended it, but, like, that's just part of the deal, man.
Yeah.
You put out free shit, people get to take it how they feel.
No, suck it up. You got to buy some extra Triscuits. It's coming out. It should be built into the budget.
Yeah. And also, you're going to end up selling a fucking, like, a portrait of whoever famous from your town made out of bottle caps or whatever. So, like, and it's going to cost $900. So just fucking take your commission and put a little of it toward a couple extra bottles of fucking.
This is the thing about small business owners, man. They don't ever want to take into account the cost of doing business. That's what sucks. It sucks to run a business.
Yeah. You got to pay that minimum wage. You got to pay that $15, which isn't even a livable wage. But that's not for this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on. I got another one. This is a short one, but it made me angry. Dear Abby, our waitress in a mid-level chain restaurant was friendly and helpful, but her tongue was pierced with a stud. It impaired her speech, making her hard to understand, and it was visible every time she spoke. We are pretty liberal about most things, but it was difficult for us to enjoy our meal. Would it have been okay for us to ask for a different waitress? Signed, Put Off in Tennessee. Bitch, if you don't take these Chili's baby back ribs and shut the fuck up,
Go to the art gallery, you idiot. They're giving away free food.
It's free over there, you dummy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Speech impediment.
The fucking audacity.
Dude, well,
Shit,
like, entire situation aside, asking for a different waitress is such a funny move. Like after already like, going up to the manager and just being like, I don't like this person is so funny.
And like what? I can't imagine a scenario in which I'm gonna do that. Like, what is the thing that is good? And then that I'm still gonna want to eat the food. You know what I mean? Like, what am I do? What's gonna happen between me and a waitress in a restaurant that I'm like okay with having the food come out, but not you walking it to my table?
She's not gonna like baby bird it into your mouth with her weird tongue ring. Like, you're not going anywhere near her tongue.
Also, like, this idea, anytime someone goes, we're pretty liberal about most things.
No,
You're not.
No,
you're
you're
lying.
not. You're lying so fucking hard.
You're writing an advice column. Like, first and foremost.
Yeah, you are 1,000 years old.
100%. And the thought, and also
the Whig party.
The impaired her speech? No, it didn't. I know that because you said she was friendly and helpful. So how could she have been both of those things if you couldn't understand what she was saying? You were just weirded out by a tongue ring for some fucking weird reason because you're an old church lady. And now all of a sudden your fucking bloomin' onion has to be brought to you by a different person. You're at a mid-level chain restaurant. Their words, not mine. What even is that? Aren't they all mid-level? What's better? You know what I'm saying?
It goes TGI Fridays, Applebee's, Chili's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Texas Landing Cattle.
No, that is a little higher. I'll give you that. Where does like a cheesecake factory fall in?
Cheesecake is high tier.
You think it's high end?
Just because of the variety.
Well, yeah,
they do have a lot of stuff
with
there.
all the stuff.
They got a big old menu. That's the joke, right?
Cheesecake Factory S tier.
Menu. That's like its own meme in and of itself. Yeah, I don't know, man. I also have tongue rings haven't been controversial since like 1990.
It's
like
not.
children have them now. They're like, like
yeah, they're not even cool. Like they went so far
No. Imagine meeting someone with like a new tongue, like one of your friends. Avery, if you just got your tongue pierced, I would never stop making fun of you.
Even like people we know that are like covered in thousands of piercings, like the Lizard Man or something. No tongue ring, because that it's
right.
Split
but it's split in half though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking ballsy.
Yeah.
The tongue ring. There was a time when the tongue ring was like, I'm old enough to remember it being like the weirdo thing, you know what I mean? Like that, it was like, oh, that's someone. You had like your ears fine, maybe a nose, the eyebrow fine, but like the tongue was like, oh, you were really like some alternative stuff or whatever.
I had a friend in high school who he's this fucking psycho kid named Eli. His name was actually Jacob Flores. We met because we had the same name, and we were enemies at first, and then we became friends, like a Dragon Ball Z. And he had a tongue ring, and what he would do is he'd go up to the water fountain and fill his mouth with water and then squirt it like through the tongue hole at people. It was fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
If she did that,
real gross,
then you should be complained. But short of that, this tongue ring is having nothing to do with your dining experience.
I've never waited tables. If you're a waiter or waitress, can you ask for different customers? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're if they're like, I need a new waitress, can you be like, I'm sorry, I can't.
You could switch out with somebody and shit.
Yeah, their management's usually pretty shitty about it, but I've definitely like one time this like girl that I'm like mortal enemies with because she like moved out of my house and stole a bunch of my art and like coffee cups and stuff. I really hate her. She came into my bar and I was like, hey, I gotta take my break now. And they're like, why? Because I'm gonna fight that redhead girl at the host stand if you don't let me take my break.
Yeah. If you've ever been eating at a restaurant and the person who brought your check is different than the server, it's either because you were there for a long enough amount of time or just over the hour mark where they switched out shifts, or you sexually harassed that person and they're not allowed to give you shit over it.
Yeah.
Too at Schultz Garden, a guy like grabbed my ass and asked me to sit on his lap, and I just like walked away and like never came back. I was like the whole shit. I was like, okay, bye guys. I'm clocking out now. See you later.
Yeah.
Man, the thought of being
UT
a
tailgater.
woman bums me out sometimes. And I don't mean that shittily, but like, imagine having to just imagine you had to. I'm talking to Jake, but like the thought of just having to put up with that.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't let people touch my hair and not fucking yell at them. Like at work, it didn't matter. So like you just have to like some dude grabs your ass and all you can do is just not say anything.
Sit down. He was also complaining about the price of Bud Light pitchers. Well, I came here when I went to college, and I was like, "You went to college in like 1965."
Dude, yeah.
You old piece of shit. And it's called inflation, bro. And also, it's only $8.
Yeah, that's a pitcher, motherfucker.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than when old people would come into the bar and they clearly like it would always be some dude who like is relatively recently divorced, so hasn't been out in a long time. You know what I mean?
For a pint.
Yeah. They're like $5 for a pint. Like, yeah, motherfucker, it's 2018. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It was $12, and I only had one old fashioned.
Dude, Bud Light is such a red flag in the service industry. Anytime somebody starts drinking that shit, I'm like, I'm gonna have to fucking carry this person out of here in a wheelbarrow. I'm gonna have to kill this person.
What's worse, somebody ordering Bud Light or somebody ordering a Bud Heavy? Like using those words.
No, Bud Heavy is tight, man. Like,
you think so? Okay.
They're from San Antonio, and we're probably gonna get along. Bud Light is for wimps.
Oh, Bud Light's terrible for sure, but I feel like every time I've ever had somebody order a Bud Heavy, I've had to make a real quick decision of like, okay, is he going to say the N-word tonight? Like there's like a
that is a possibility though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might not get along.
We might not.
Bud Light people are like, they don't look at the menu. They just sit down and
yeah, for sure. That's the one thing I'll say about Bud Light people. They're also easy to like, you know what they're going to get.
Bud Light, and it's like, no, it's a fucking cocktail bar, dog. Like
that's the only problem is if you don't have Bud Light, they are like they might leave.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, they're not going to be like, oh, I need you to make me a 19-step fucking drink or whatever in the middle of rush hour.
They're going to be like about getting a Lone Star.
Can I get an extra lime, please? That's going to be about it.
If you open a restaurant or a bar, you have to keep a 6-pack of Bud Light around because these are a type of people that walk the earth and they will not take anything else. By the way, I thought of something when you were talking about Bud Heavy people being racist. You know what'd be really funny is if like a really racist guy called Bud Heavy's like, can I get a hard Bud?
It's a Budweiser with a hard R. Oh shit, that can't get out, Jake. That's too funny, and racist people will absolutely start doing that. I might have to edit that off this podcast.
Not like a Budweiser, like the rappers say. No,
I need it with a hard R. Oh, that's too funny.
Those frogs were racist.
All right, let's move on to our next letter. Dear Abby, a short time ago, I discovered my parents are swingers. I had picked up my mother's phone to take a picture, and an incoming text caught my attention. When I read it and investigated further, I learned the truth. I don't mind what they do with their marriage, and I respect their choices. However, my siblings and I were raised in a strict Christian home. My parents taught us the opposite of what they are doing. Now I feel they are hypocrites. How can I tell them to act a certain way when they don't practice what they preach? I'm not sure if I should talk to them about it or drop this entirely. Help, signed disillusioned daughter.
Yeah, stop talking to your freaky parents.
Well, here's my problem.
What
do you mean when I read it and investigated further?
Yeah, you were snooping on your parents.
Yeah, stop. You don't dig in your parents' shit. You learn that as a kid. The first time you find a pack of condoms in your dad's drawer, you stop looking at shit. Yeah.
Also, like, what did she like text the person back?
Yeah. Pretending to be the mom or whatever.
Hello, it is me, Martha. I'm ready to swing.
It was Louise on the other end of that text.
It was
for sure.
Hand stuff? Question mark?
Yeah.
Just
is there a lotion emoji?
Bunch of hand
lotion
Hands.
Also, how about this? Grow up. Yeah, your parents told you shit when you were a child, because children aren't allowed to do the same shit that adults are allowed to do. So you have to tell your kid, you have to be a hypocrite with your kids on some level, because they're not allowed. 9-year-olds can't drink, they can't smoke. I think it's adorable when they curse, but they're not supposed to do it at school. But like, yeah, your parents were hypocrites to you when they were. Now the fun thing is supposed to be when you end up being an adult, and then you and your parents can just be adults with each other, and you realize, oh, they weren't fucking actually assholes, they were just raising a child.
Yeah. Also, if they're like raising their kids as like strict Christians, like, yeah, they're probably hypocrites anyways, like
for
in
sure.
a lot of different instances.
My question about this is like, did your parents explicitly, when they were being psycho evangelicals or whatever growing up, indoctrinate you with like one man, one woman stuff? Or is that just
like anti-swinging? Yeah.
Or is that just implied here? Because Christianity is very malleable. All right. A lot of people take it in like a very like, swingery direction with like, cults and shit like that. We're like, oh, Jesus wants me to fuck all these fucking people. So like your parents might, I don't know. I'm going to call bullshit here, I guess, because here's what I'm getting at. I think that it's possible that this old couple they're swingers and they're still Christians, and they don't feel hypocritical about it. Like, they're just old freaks, because old people, they fuck. I mean, we like to imagine that they don't, because they're gross, but they do shit like this all the fucking time.
And also, if you're a Christian,
shows with guys that have like multiple wives, they're all Christians.
Yeah.
Bible's fucked up.
Like, I have 13 wives. Like, I don't know what they're actually called, but like they're always Christian.
And if you're Christian and swinging, then you might be the kind of Christian I can hang out with.
Yeah.
Like, not that I want to swing with you, but maybe you're chill. It seems like a chiller brand of Christianity.
Yeah, like it's kind of, you learn this as you get older, especially if you grew up in a place like Texas, because like there's a lot of scary Christians, but there's also a lot of them that are basically old hippies, and that's what I get. I guess my radar is going off here. I'm like, I think your parents are just these old fucking hippies,
like goofy old Episcopalians. Yeah.
And they're fine. They're the fun Christians. They're not the gun ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would much rather find out that I have swinger parents than like they were secretly like MAGA or like gun nuts or something. You know what I mean? That would be weird if I found out. Saw a text on my mom's phone and they were like, "Oh, I got that gun you ordered." That would weird me out all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's much scarier.
All right, we can move on to another letter here. I've got a couple more and we can wrap this up. This one, boy. Dear Abby, I'm 30 and my husband Brent is 35. We have had some financial troubles lately and recently had to move in with my mother-in-law. My question is, how old should a child be before his mother quits walking around naked in front of him? My mother-in-law still walks around completely nude in front of Brent and his 39-year-old brother. Although she is in good health, she always seems to need Brent's help getting in and out of the shower. She also parades nude in front of me, and it makes me very uncomfortable. I have talked to Brent about it a few times, and he said she's been this way his whole life. Is this normal behavior? Am I overreacting? I have a daughter, and I don't get naked in front of her. How do I approach this without causing hurt feelings? Signed, Covered Up in the Midwest. I have two like opposing thoughts in my head. One is that's fucking weird. Like, put on a robe. And the other one is like, bitch, you moved into my house. You know what I'm saying? She didn't move into their house and then suddenly start walking around naked in Brent and this lady's house. You moved into her house. You got to follow house rules, baby. It's titty time. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It is. I mean, it can be really like confusing to the child, like, and especially well into adulthood, like that probably gives them a lot of mixed feelings about like nudity and sexuality and things like that because it's their mother. But also, like, aren't there like weird communes where like everybody's naked all the time and the kids are just like these little barefoot little hippie kids, you know? Like, I don't know. I guess I would like to know what kind of like family it is. But ultimately, I think it's kind of weird.
How old's the kid again?
There are no children involved. I want to be clear here.
Like,
the kid is 35.
Wait, okay, that's the child.
Yeah, there is no kid. It is the mother's children, but they are adults.
This the whole time.
She's been doing this since they were children, but he is now 35 and his brother is 39. The weird part is if she is indeed in good health, the way it is said, although she is in good health, she always seems to need his help getting in and out of the shower. Yeah, that's like extra weird.
Yeah, this is
if it's not like look, if you're some people have to take care of their parents for whatever health maladies, you have to help people in and out of the shower. That is a perfectly normal and like honorable situation to find yourself in. But like that doesn't seem to be what's happening here. This just seems to be, I think this is Louise. I think Louise has shown up in a third letter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this woman's is clearly a little weird, but I think this also is just another case of like Europeans or something.
Yeah.
Like you came into the situation and you're correct to be like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like this is too close for a parent and a child to be, but they're just like, what? It's my mother, you know?
Yeah. By the way, have you been working on your voice work during the pandemic, Jake? Because that accent was magnifique, as he said.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Who cares that they are my mothers?
But also, let's figure out. He's 35. The brother's 39. So she's 60, likely in her 60s. I'm guessing. At some point, so there is the argument of like you don't have to. Not all nudity is sexual, right? It's just like, you know, get over your hangups or whatever. But also like. It's not that easy is what I mean. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to say get over your hangups, but you've spent your entire life living in America where this is the norm. And now suddenly this is thrown in your face. It's going to be weird.
Yeah. I certainly agree that this is fucking weird, but I think I also agree with your point, Chris, that like you went to those people's house. So
you're in my house, man. Like that's like, look, if you come to my house, I'm going to wear pants because that's how I am comfortable. But also, if I go to your house and you're refusing to put on pants, then I have to leave. It is your house. Like it's the castle doctrine, right? You can shoot a motherfucker breaking in your house, and you can walk around with your nuts out if you want because it's your house.
Yeah, my dad used to walk around in his tighty whities when I was a kid. It embarrassed the shit out of me because I'd have friends over.
Yeah, my dad too.
But it was his house. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's paying the bills, motherfucker. We want to look when you can afford to buy boxers, then you can fucking change what he's wearing. I remember one time being at my friend Dave. I won't say David; it was his name. At his house, and his mom's boyfriend. They had a pool, so we would like hang out there a lot during the summer or whatever because it was the pool house. And his mom's boyfriend like just went butt naked in the pool with a bunch of like 14, 15-year-old kids hanging around. Oh. And like I want to make it very clear. He wasn't like being gross like that. He wasn't like, we were kind of inside. He was outside or whatever. But like he got out of that pool and he just had the biggest fucking like, you know, when you're like see an old man, when you're like, Jake, I don't know if you've been to like a public pool and you go to the like you're like maybe 12 or whatever and you go through the shower to go to the bathroom and then like you're seeing like a man naked for it's disgusting. Relatively early. It's fucking gross, shocking. But like just like shocking. It is exactly that. It is like what just fucking happened. And he's like on the porch like stretching and like doing like twists and shit as he's getting out of the pool. But guess what I did? I stayed inside because I wanted pool access, and it's not my goddamn house, so I don't know what to say.
It's so funny that like when you get old, your body just has that quality that it can strike fear into people. Like,
yeah.
Like a D&D thing or something.
I remember like we would go to the Rosendale Rec Center to the public pool, and I remember going in one time and just like the old lady from The Shining, but as a dude, ended up just like he's just in the shower and like nuts can't be that long. Just like this, none of this makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super weird. I think the advice for this lady is you either have to make your peace with Naked Mom or y'all got to find an apartment because, again, it's her house. I don't know that you can ask her to cover up that much.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
Oh, let's try this one. This is going to be quick because we'll see. Dear Abby, my friend from church casually mentioned that he and his wife recently helped themselves to several buckets of sand from a national park. I'm beside myself trying to understand how they can justify pillaging a natural resource so they can pretend that they're at the beach. It's beyond selfish and just plain wrong. What can I say to convince them to return it? Can you help me navigate this conversation while still maintaining a friendship? Signed, Shocked in Hawaii. I don't know that I have a dog in this fight.
I don't know. It's so bizarre.
You know what I mean? Like, you probably shouldn't be taking sand from a national park, I guess, right?
Get away with it because, like, I've been to like White Sands and like the Great Sand Dunes in Colorado and stuff, and there's signage everywhere that says like, "Do not remove rocks. Do not like it's the whole like leave it the way you found it kind of thing."
Sure.
But there's also like park rangers everywhere. And like, how did they hide these large buckets of sand?
Several buckets. That's where I'm weird. If it was like,
and there's usually like a ranger station.
Yeah.
Like, see you later. And they just have like all this sand. Like, how did they load it in without any saying?
You know what they did? They wore like those big Jinkos from the 90s, and then they walked past the ranger, just like shh.
I like to think they brought like emptied out fat suits and then just filled it with sand so that when they walked out they were just like giant tits and fucking bellies. But you literally are 400 pounds now because the sand is so heavy.
I mean, if you can get away with it, like there's just so many people around and so many obstacles. Like I'm kind of impressed that they were able to get away with stealing 3 large buckets of sand.
That's what's so wild. Like, I assumed when I started to read this, they took a vial. That seems like obviously, look, you're not supposed to do it because if everybody takes a vial, then there's no more sand. But like, we've got fucking Nazis in the street. I got bigger issues to worry about than people taking sand from beaches or whatever. But like, you had to come with buckets. The plan was clearly, this wasn't a vacation. This was a heist. They came here to take sand.
Well,
also,
I have a question.
Sand at Home Depot.
What's up, Jake?
Why did they take the fucking sand? What's the point?
She said they wanted to live they were on a beach, so maybe they like put it around their pool or something.
But that was also her assumption of why they took. We don't know their side of the story.
Maybe they're doing experiments, or maybe they're trying to blow some glass or something.
Because you're right, you can get sand from Home Depot, but it sounds like they wanted like this sand for some reason, which is weird.
Maybe they did it for magic.
Like I've said, if you take I've heard of people taking like a small thing as like a souvenir or whatever.
I absolutely take rocks from everywhere I go.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Did you ever paint
so many rocks?
Why? What are you doing with these rocks, Avery Moore?
I'm all around my house. I got a little things shelf. I got a shelf full of little things.
Okay. And some of those things are rocks.
A lot of those things are rocks.
Are they like particularly, is there something about, this one's real smooth or this is like shaped? No, it's just like, that's a rock.
I find cool ones, but they're normally just regular old rocks.
I, at the beginning of the pandemic, tried to get into painting rocks because I was losing my mind. And like, that's a thing. If you go, I was starting to see them as I was walking my dog. You paint a little thing on a rock and leave it somewhere. And I am terrible at painting anything, it turns out. So I gave up on that pretty immediately. But that's the most I've ever had a rock-based hobby at all.
This is a lifelong passion.
Okay, weird question. So it's a lifelong passion. Have you ever gotten rid of, you have to get rid of some at some point to make, no, okay.
I move with them and stuff.
Oh, you're like the worst. You moved with,
Yeah.
Do you move them to yourself or do you hire movers? Because if you hire
They're not
movers,
big, Jake. They're little.
I know.
I just imagine the worst like hoarder episode ever when they go into clean out the house and it's just like a gravel pit.
And I don't even know where they're all from. Like I don't live.
Yeah, it's not like
I don't even remember where they're from.
oh, that's so funny. Avery, I don't mean to make fun. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but god damn it, that made me laugh.
Oh man, that's so funny.
All right.
I did that when I was like literally like 7 years old, like a child. I used to collect rocks. But even then, I had the wherewithal to try to get the cool rocks.
Yeah, we went. Maris and I were in Maine. Fuck, I don't even remember any time anymore. 2 years ago or something like that. And we're at like the beach, and we would find like we brought home like 3 rocks, I think, that were like particularly cool, smoothed out, glassine. They were like decent, cool rocks, but like I don't even know where they are now. I'm certainly not moving with them. I can't imagine.
Whenever I move, I have to like carefully wrap all of the little stuff because like I have like tiny little things, you know,
little like figurines and stuff like that. I get that makes sense.
But those are you wouldn't believe how many there are.
Oh, you should start an Instagram. You should start an Instagram account called Avery's Little Things, and then just post pictures.
I was going to, and then like somebody's wife, like Phil Collins or something, like somebody's wife has an account like that, and it's called like Stuff in Our House or something. Right. But yeah, I could start one. I'll start one after the podcast.
One more letter, and we'll wrap it up. Dear Abby, I need help. I've shoplifted several times. I was caught and have a police record. I am a grandparent. I know it's wrong and I don't do it all the time. Is this a mental disorder or am I just being stupid? If I know this is wrong, why do I keep doing it? And where do I start to look for help? Signed, Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers.
I like to imagine it's Sticky Fingers from Onyx. That's what I like to imagine wrote this letter. I promise you he's a grandparent. He doesn't know his grandkids, but he's definitely a grandparent.
Well, do you think he named himself that because he had this like deeply conflicting desire to shoplift all the time?
If you get old, do you want to start stealing or keep stealing? I don't know what your stealing habits are these days.
Well, I mean, initially upon hearing this, I'm like, you don't have a problem at all. You are a hero. You should steal as much stuff as possible all the time, everywhere you go. Fuck that shit. But the fact that this person is like, I'm trying to stop and I can't is a little alarming.
Yeah. I have I have a police record. I am a grandparent.
Yeah, they're questioning their mental health and their morality.
You should. Here's my point. You should steal because you want to, not because
not because you're driven to. Yes. Now, you say you should steal all the time from everywhere. From everywhere?
No, like from.
You should steal from.
Like from Walmart.
Did you say? Hold on, wait. Let's move with the Avery. What did you say, Avery?
Target.
Oh, I thought you said parties, and I was like, Avery, no, those are your friends.
No, I would never steal. I've never stolen from a person.
That's so funny.
I have stolen so many things from Target.
Walmart. Any of your big box stores or corporations, absolutely steal from them.
Yeah.
I have, and that the only thing I ever regret stealing was from HEB, but only because HEB is like cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're like as far as a grocery store can be, they're fucking like good and they help people and
they're good at responding. They're better at responding to natural disasters than our government. That's
exactly. That being said, though, Whole Foods. Fuck yeah. Steal from Whole Foods.
I steal from Whole Foods hard. Like I just go to the food court and you just they print out, you get these like bowls and they print out 2 labels, one for the protein that you got and one for like the salad or the rice. You just scan the rice and you got yourself a $2 dinner.
Hell yeah.
They see you scanning something, but you're not scanning everything.
Yeah, I'm big on that in the bulk section. You go to the bulk section, you get pistachios. Them shits is like $19 a pound. Oh, this looks like semolina wheat, my friend. We're moving this along. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
You get a PlayStation 5 box and you fill it up with as many oranges as you can fill it
Oh
with.
shit!
Jake, you're doing this backwards, Jake.
Wait.
I have a crazy story about this. My homeboy, he bought. He just told us this the other day. He got like a shop vac and he wanted to return it, but it was like broken. And like, I don't know what happened to it, but he just filled the box with trash and returned it to Home Depot. And they were like, hey, this box is slightly open. We're going to have to look at this. And they opened it up and he was like, they're like, this is just a bunch of trash. And he was like, I have no idea how that got in there. I didn't open the box. I just want to return this. And they got the manager and then they just gave him his money back.
Wow. Well done.
Trash.
I think Home Depot is actually the dude who owns it's a Trump supporter. So good job.
The founder of it, yeah. Home
Yeah,
Depot
you're supposed to go to like Lowe's or something, I think.
Lowe's. Your local
The guy
mom
who
and
owns
pop.
Home Depot when the coronavirus started, he purchased a bunker in New Zealand, which is where all of the crazy rich people apparently have like their sort of doomsday plan.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think I don't steal as much anymore. Like, not that I would stole a lot, but like enough, like you're supposed to just keep them on their toes. I like to think when I get to be a like grandparent age, you start stealing again, baby.
I thought that was like a stereotype that like old people steal.
Isn't that a Seinfeld episode?
Maybe because you don't suspect them, right?
Yeah. I think once you get to grandparent age, fuck shoplifting. You got to become like a jewel thief. You got to take it to the next level, like a gentleman thief. You know what I'm saying?
A gentleman thief.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. No one does though. They just
steal
shoplift candy
batteries
bars
or
and go
whatever.
to fucking play the slot machines in Vegas and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a through line in all these questions, right? Like,
which is
when you get old, you steal as much shit as possible. You start swinging. If you're at the
naked
beach
around your sons,
you're naked. You steal as much. You steal sand. Just steal anything.
They steal anything. You steal buckets of sand. You know what? You're right. That is an unconscious decision on my behalf to pick these letters. But very much, this is just like, hey, when you get old, it's kind of tight. You just get drunk, molest your friends, steal a bunch of shit. It's tight.
No rules when you're old.
No rules. Well, guys, this has been a blast. Jake, you got anything you want to plug?
My podcasts are Pod Damn America and Why You Mad, and I'm on everything is Feral Jokes, which is an anagram for my name. That's it.
Awesome. Avery Moore, what you got going?
I'm Little Miss Popovich on Instagram, still banned from Twitter. Please keep an eye out for my album. I don't know when it's gonna drop, but I might just like release it because I have nothing else to do. But follow the McEwens too. We're gonna be releasing a bunch
for sure. Do that. There's been some great videos, so definitely follow the McEwens. I am at Chris Cubis on all social media. If you like this show, do us a favor. Go to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a little 5-star review. Little review is nice. Tell your friends. That helps as well. And we'll be back next week with more bad advice.